Good morning, everyone. As you all know, we have been doing chapter 1 from part 1, that is accounting and its terminology. Yes, we have had 4 lectures or 3 to 4 lectures so far, and we've understood about its characteristics, objectives, advantages, you can say, and we also had a very detailed introduction about the same in the very first lecture. And today we are going to start with an important concept of all, which is terminology of accounting. What is the meaning for the word terminology? See, whichever field it may be, you need to learn the language for the same. Like when you were learning mathematics, you were informed, you were taught that 1 plus 1 is 2. So that plus is called addition. 2 minus 1, that minus is called subtraction. So there are particular words for the explanation and meaning of the respective content of respective field. Different words are used in different subjects, different fields, right? Whatever the field might be. Say for example, you become an engineer, doctor, or an artist, or a sportsman. You'll have to take education in the field of your choice. Yes? So right now that you are learning accountancy, you need to understand the words used in accounting, which is said terminology of accounting. Yes, as I said, each field of education has its own terminology. Yes, own words to address a particular activity. Yes. So, in our subject, in accounting, special words explain specific and clear meaning in the given context. So what they're trying to say is whatever words are given to you, yes, they always hold a specific and clear meaning. Yes, just like you had glossary, the meanings when you used to study English, you've had a story or the chapter, entire chapter, and the thing is that once the chapter was completed, you were provided with the glossary as a part of exercise or maybe before exercise. So what used to be the case there, that there is a word and the specific meaning for that word is written besides that. Yes. So what does that mean? That this word is for this meaning, right? This word means this is what I am trying to say. Yes. So let us see what are such kind of words in accountancy. So the very first definition that we used to that we are supposed to understand is business transaction. The important of all, we already know what does a transaction stand for. We have understood this in the part of introduction in the very first lecture. Yes, what does business transaction mean? I mean, what does a transaction mean? Business transaction that we are going to understand now. The most important term, definition, the very first part of the topic of terminology, an important definition. What does this mean? It says Business transaction means exchange of product or service of business between two or more persons in the form of cash or on credit. Understand first of all what is a transaction. I've explained this earlier. Transaction is an exchange of goods and services in terms of money. Business transaction means exchange of product or service of business between two or more persons in the form of cash or credit. Say for example, there is a shopkeeper, yes, and you went to purchase a pack of Maggi or some chocolates. So you went to that person, you've purchased a pack of Maggi and a few chocolates, and in return you have given the necessary amount. So what is this? This is an exchange of goods in terms of money. That is, you'll be provided with a pack of Maggi and several chocolates, and in return you are going to pay for this. So this becomes a transaction. It becomes a cash transaction. The transaction in the form of cash. Yes? Now consider the same situation with a minor difference, that is, you went to a shopkeeper and you purchased 10 packs of Maggi, at least 20 packs of chocolates, and you said that you will pay the amount later. Yes, this does not mean that this is not a transaction. Definitely this is a transaction, but the payment is delayed to the future date. That means you are going to pay later instead of paying it right now. Alright, so this is a credit transaction. Yes? So simply, transaction is exchange of product or service between two or more persons in the form of cash or on credit. Then the second point says business transaction is always economic transaction. Now what does economic transaction mean? Economic transaction is the transaction which can be measured in terms of money. Always remember a thing, the transaction which cannot be measured in terms of money cannot be recorded in the books of accounts. Economic transaction means a transaction which can be measured in terms of money. You'll purchase something, in return you will pay something. You will sell something, in return you'll receive something. This is economic transaction. Alright, next. So, as we've understood that the transaction can be in two forms, that is cash or on credit condition. Yes, that means you'll pay for the payment will be made on the spot or it will be paid later in future. Once you pay on the spot, it is cash, and if the payment is delayed for future, it is credit transaction. Okay, so let us see what is a cash transaction. We got a simple example to understand a cash transaction. Alright, fine. The example given to you here on your screen says goods of rupees 5,000 sold to Payal for cash. Now consider yourself as an owner of the business. Just assume that you have been doing some sort of business. You are the owner, and Payal is a person, is your customer. She visits your shop and you have sold goods of rupees 5,000 to Payal for cash. This transaction clearly says that the goods have been sold for cash. What does this mean? That Payal will collect goods of rupees 5,000 from you and she will pay 5,000 immediately. So this simply means that cash is received against goods. You have given goods, Payal has given cash. So what is the economic value of this transaction? It is 5,000 rupees. And this is a business transaction. So what do you interpret from this transaction is that Payal, first of all, is a separate person. Yes, Payal is a separate person. What did you sell? You sold goods. Goods is a product. Goods can be anything. The item that the item that Payal has purchased, the item that you have sold, the item in which a trader is trading actually is goods. Alright? Next, 5,000 rupees is received from Payal on the spot. The same moment Payal has paid rupees 5,000. Yes? So, goods are given to Payal and Payal has given 5,000 in return. So, this is a transaction and economic transaction, and further this is cash transaction. Yes, because cash is received in exchange of goods. Nextly, we have a credit transaction. What does credit transaction mean? Let us consider the example. Goods of rupees 5,000 sold on credit to Payal with the condition to pay the amount within 10 days. Now consider the same example. You are the owner. Payal is a customer. She visits to your shop. You have sold goods of rupees 5,000 on credit. Matlab, in simple language, if you want to understand that the goods have been sold on credit, that means udhar pe goods sell kiye gaye hain. That simply means that Payal will not pay the amount right now. She'll pay later in future. Yes? When? Within 10 days. So, you have given goods to Payal. Payal will pay within 10 days. She won't pay on the spot right now. So, you understand the difference between these two transactions. Here, 5,000 were sold to Payal for cash. That means goods are given to Payal and Payal has given the amount on the spot. Here, the situation is that the goods have been sold on credit to Payal again of rupees 5,000. But the condition to pay the amount is 10 days. So, within 10 days, Payal will pay. So, this is the credit transaction. The payment can be even after 20 days, 1 day, the way the credit period is allowed. Here it is 10 days. So, I hope you understand the difference between cash transaction and credit transaction by now. Yes? Let us see the next thing presented. An event. Event means a situation or result created from transaction. See, there are ample of transactions taking place in business every day. Yes, you record all the transactions with the purpose of finding out its results, that what is actually the result of your business, of an activity that you are doing. Yes, so that is probably an interpretation. Yeah, so transaction is an act and event is considered to be its result. That what is actually the result of every transaction taking place, yes, can be said as an event. Let us consider a simple example to understand this. Yeah. Goods sold to Payal is purchased for rupees 3,000. Wages paid rupees 500. Firstly, you need to understand what are wages. Wages is a new word here. Wages is मजदूरी जो दी जाती है मजदूरों को is wages. Yes, obviously you will not carry the goods that you have purchased on your own, in your own hands, and walk towards your go down warehouse or a shop, whatever you have, the showroom. Yes. And another thing noteworthy here is that if you are doing a business, if you are selling commodities, firstly you should purchase them. I mean, obviously you will purchase them or you will manufacture it. Yes. And only then you will sell the same. Firstly, it should be available with you, so that you can sell it to the other person. Yes? So you have purchased goods of rupees 3,000. The one that you have sold to Payal. Here we have. You have sold goods of rupees 5,000 to Payal. Is what we have considered in the example of cash transaction as well as in the example of credit transaction. That the goods of rupees 5,000 have been sold to Payal, and those goods were purchased by you for rupees 3,000, and wages you have paid 500. Understand? You have sold goods for rupees 5,000. Those goods were purchased by you for 3,000. And the charges, extra charges, that is wages that you have paid is of rupees 500. So understand, the goods that you have sold for rupees 5,000, वो आपको कितने में पड़े? 3,500. So goods worth rupees 3,500 you have sold for rupees 5,000 to Payal. So what do you interpret from this? That the amount of difference 1,500. This is the result and is your profit. Yes? 3,500 rupees के goods अगर आप 5,000 में sell करेंगे तो definitely आपका जो profit है वो हो रहा है 1,500. This is the result of the transactions that have taken place. Thus, it is an event. Okay. Hope you were able to understand. So, transaction discloses an act done by business, while event represent the situation or result created from transaction. Yes? So, these were the related definitions. The very first definition is of business transaction. Yeah? Let us quickly repeat whatever we have done. Business transaction. Consider yourself as the owner of the business. Yes? You are the owner of the business. You have a business. Yes? So generally, purchase, sale activities take place in the business, of course. You must be selling something. So for that you need to purchase or you need to manufacture. Whatever you are manufacturing, you are selling. Whatever you will purchase, you will sell. If you are purchasing a commodity, a unit worth rupees 80, you are going to sell it for rupees 100, isn't it? To make a profit of rupees 20. Obviously, you cannot purchase it for rupees 100 and you can sell it for 100. No, this is not practical. This is not business. Obviously, your cost price should be lesser than your selling price, or say your selling price should always be higher than the cost price. Yes, only then the result is going to be profit, and profit at the end is the main objective of carrying out a business activity. Yeah. So business transaction, exchange of goods and services, and always an economic transaction. What is economic transaction? Which can be measured in terms of money. Only the transactions that can be measured in terms of money can be recorded in the books of accounts. Alright? Now, we've understood that business transaction can be of two forms. It takes place through the medium of cash or on credit condition. Understand the difference between these two. Already we have understood, but we are revising. Alright. You are the owner. You've sold a commodity or you have sold goods to so and so person. The so and so person here is Payal. Payal visits your shop. She has purchased goods of rupees 5,000. That means you have sold goods of rupees 5,000 to Payal for cash. This simply means that you have given goods to Payal and Payal has given rupees 5,000 in return. So you have received an amount on the spot. You have given goods and Payal has given rupees 5,000. Alright? This is a cash transaction. Yes? First of all, this is an act of business. Secondly, you have received cash against goods. You have given goods, you have received cash. What is the economic value of the transaction? 5,000. Just because the transaction is having economic value, it is business transaction. As I said, the transactions which can be measured in terms of money can only be recorded in business. So here the economic value of the transaction is 5,000 and hence this is a business transaction. Consider the same example from the viewpoint of credit transaction. Sorry. Goods of rupees 5,000 sold on credit to Payal with the condition to pay the amount within 10 days. Yes? Again, the economic value of goods is 5,000. Payal is your customer. She will pay the amount within 10 days. She did not pay right now. That does not mean she won't pay. She's definitely going to pay, but within 10 days. She did not pay the moment she received goods. So this is a credit transaction. Because the payment has been delayed, the transaction is credit transaction. Yes? So this is the difference between cash transaction and a credit transaction. Alright? So these type of transactions are recorded in business, in the books of accounts, I mean. There are ample of transactions. Yes? Many transactions taking place in a day, which is not possible for you to memorize. And this is the reason we write it down in the books of accounts. And the transactions can be cash, either can be credit. And the difference between two we have understood. The second definition that we have learned today is of event. First one was business transaction. Second one is event, is an event. So event means a situation or result created from transaction. This simply means that whatever transactions are taking place in your business, yes, what is its result? Yes, that whatever transactions have taken place, what is the amount of profit from it? What is in case if there is loss, then how much it is? Yes, so event is a result and transaction is an act. You can also say event is a result of an act of transaction. Consider the same example. Goods sold to Payal is purchased for rupees 3,000. Further, wages paid rupees 500. You are the owner. You have sold goods to Payal, which you have purchased for 3,000. You have sold goods to Payal for rupees 5,000. And those goods you have purchased for 3,000, as I mentioned earlier, that your cost price should always be less than the selling price. What is my selling price? 5,000. What is the cost price of goods? 3,000. But on that I have paid wages also of rupees 500. So these goods are of rupees 3,500 at the end. And these goods have been sold for rupees 5,000. To whom? To Payal. So what is your profit? Obviously 5,000 minus 3,500. 1,500 is your profit. Yes? So this is what you have understood. And this is a result of the transaction. Thus it is an event. Yes, as I said, the result is considered to be an event. Alright, so we have understood the two definitions as a part of terminology of accounting, an important concept. Yes, and let us see what is your homework for today. That you will write down these definitions once in your fair books. Okay? You can also read this in detail in your textbook. The concept of terminology of accounting is given on page number 10 or maybe 11 because there is an edition of old book and a new edition even. So nearby 9 or 10 page number, there will be a concept of terminology of accounting. You should read its introduction, and the very first definition given there is business transaction that we have understood for today. Further, there are examples of cash transactions and credit transaction, and below that there is a definition of an event that we have understood for today. Alright, so that's all for today. We'll see you all in the next session. Study well.